Hello friends, it's Laura from The Grateful Catholic, and today I want to talk about my gratitude for the saints. The saints and the communion of saints has been so pivotal to my faith and my conversion that it's something that I wanted to share with you all. It began actually with a dream. I may have mentioned this in another video where I was in a hellish realm. I was surrounded by these demonic looking creatures that were like straight out of a medieval or Renaissance painting, winged monkey creatures. That was an absolute, desolation. And I heard a voice say, "You need Margaret." And that led me to Margaret Alacoque and the Sacred Heart. But what's in particular importance that I haven't shared before is that I read St. Margaret's story. And when I read about her life and some of the hardships that she had been through, I could relate to her as a person, as someone who had shared experiences to me that made me feel a kinship to her. And I liken this to war veterans who, when they come back from war, often don't want to talk about their experiences, except when they're in the presence of other veterans, because those other veterans understand what they've been through, understand their experiences, understand the shared pain and the shared trauma, and can relate to them. And unless you are speaking to someone who can relate to your experiences, you often don't feel fully supported or fully understood. So I have encountered different saints and read their life stories, and there have been particular ones whom I have felt a closeness to. And that closeness, it's almost like when you meet somebody and you realize, wow, I have a lot in common with this person. And in particular, if you've shared something that was really impactful or really meaningful to you, something that maybe even hurt you very badly, then it can be the foundation for a great relationship or a great friendship, because you understand each other. Someone maybe who's lost a child, if they meet someone else who has lost a child, then that person understands their pain, and that could be the foundation for why you choose to relate to one another and become friends and speak to one another. So a couple of other saints that I have really related to include Saint Monica, because of her troubled marriage, because of her struggle to convert her family members, and Saint Laura Vicuna. She's more of a modern day saint. She came out of a very abusive home and survived some pretty traumatic things. Saint Mary of the Desert, in particular, because she had a history of sin. And I think that's another kind of thread there, that like some of us think, well, the saints led perfect lives and I can't relate to them because I'm a sinner and I'm not perfect. But a lot of the saints have committed the same sins that we have, right? And they've overcome them. And so not only are their lives a model to us, but we can relate to them because we know that they have been through the same thing. So, I mean, I think that's kind of similar to how a lot of the support groups work, grief groups, Alcoholics Anonymous, where it's people who have struggled with the same things, come together to support each other because they understand each other. It's like that with the saints. You can find a saint who suffered or struggled in the same way as you, and overcame it to such a degree and in such perfection that they became completely pleasing to God. So we don't worship these saints. We ask them to pray for us. We ask them to help us get closer to God. And I would kind of liken this to, there's certain people out there who seem to have a direct line to God, and so we ask them to pray for us because we feel like their prayers seem to be heard a bit better, maybe because they're more pleasing to God. It's not that our prayers aren't heard, but some people have cultivated in greater perfection their relationship with God. And we know that to be true of the saints. And so we call upon them and we ask them, dear Saint so-and-so, I'm suffering. Please help me. Please intercede for me. Please help me to be more pleasing to God. Please help me to become more perfect to God. And in my daily practice, I call upon these saints, and I can palpably feel their compassion and their love for me. As if they're friends. And it softens my heart and aids in my relationship with God. So I do recommend that you read the lives of saints, hear their stories, and find ones whose stories resonate with your own, and develop that relationship, that kinship, and let them be an advocate for you in heaven. Thank you for listening.